Welcome to the Potter Buchanan Show. On today's show, please welcome Kaylee Harcrow, who is helping small business grow with her company, Golden Hour Growth. Enjoy the show. Kaylee Harcrow, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for jumping on the show.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
No, for sure. The reason I wanted to connect with you, I was on LinkedIn scrolling as one does, and I saw someone in your network, in my network, repost about your company. And I wanted to kind of learn more about Golden Hour Growth, what you're doing as a marketing strategist. Myself being so I kind of have two roles now. Like I run this podcast. So sort of being I hate the term creator, but I
Yeah,
guess I am a creator now.
yeah.
And then I also do some manufacturing representation for different HVAC brands. That's like my day to day. But I want to dive into the business, kind of what you do, why you started it. But first, I wanted to go into like the career trajectory. So you're an Oracle alum like me. I did 7 years there. Was actually hit in not the most recent layoffs, but the ones
hmm
before. But kind of like your path. So starting at Oracle, were you in the BDC or SDR
Yeah.
role?
Yeah, I did the BDC program right out of college. Started the summer. I graduated from Baylor. I never saw myself doing sales or
Yeah.
software sales specifically. My degree was in marketing, but I didn't really know out of college exactly what I wanted to do with that. Marketing in general is pretty broad. I felt like in college, you learned a lot of just basic kind of things about marketing and business in general. But in my experience, I didn't really understand what marketing was or what I was good at or wanted to do until I was a couple of jobs into my career. And I kind of started feeling it out and realizing there's a million different things I can do with this. And there's certain things I'm really good at and that I love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started at Oracle, did the BDC program. I was only there for about a year and a half. I quickly realized that software sales just wasn't necessarily my thing, but
I see that a lot because I was an SDR manager there. That was my last job. So I think
Mhm.
that people get the job out of college not really knowing fully what it is.
Yeah,
And it's definitely not for everyone. But what I would always try to do is find, like, for instance, you like marketing, some people liked operations, like quickly find out, like, okay, this person doesn't want to do sales, but they have this job. So try to facilitate the best way to get them to what they want to do ultimately. So it's good you were able to like realize that and make a pivot there.
yeah. I realized that the sales part wasn't really my thing. I did learn a lot. They always said be comfortable being uncomfortable when you were doing the training in the BDC program, and they really made me good at that. I was a little bit more shy before I went into that. Now I could probably talk to a brick wall if I needed to, but I did get a lot of professional growth out of being at Oracle, so that was something really great that came out of it. I left right as COVID started, and I knew I wanted to do something a little bit more marketing related. So I ended up actually working for an HVAC brand for almost 3 years. After that, I went and worked for Neighborly. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but they're kind of an umbrella brand for home services. So I worked with their HVAC brand and was, in not a lot of words, basically a marketing consultant for all of their franchise owners in the United States. And basically just kind of coaching them on this is what you should be doing with social media, with your budget in your local community. This is how you should market your business. And that was really cool because I got to see franchise owners that some of them were just one guy and his truck, and that was his business. And then
Yeah.
there's some that had millions of dollars of revenue on the commercial and residential side, and they were huge. So it was really cool to kind of see both ends of what an HVAC business can be and trades in general. I learned a lot about just trades and, how they work. And then I decided, I want to move back to Austin and be, near all my friends. I'm actually still best friends with all of the people I met in my BDC class at Oracle.
Yeah, it's the best. It's like a post-college, like,
Mhm.
fraternity, sorority, like, mixer.
Yeah, it's like college kinda just kept going for a little bit after we graduated,
100%.
so
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. So still friends with them. I had moved back home to Waco during COVID, so wanted to come back, and I randomly applied to a roofing company on LinkedIn and got it.
I saw that roofing. So you went from HVAC to roofing. So
Mhm.
are you a tradeswoman now? Can you
I would like to be. I don't think I'll ever get away from it. It's a really great field to be in. Uh,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I'll ever come out of construction now, or I'd like to be working it in some way just because I've learned so much. I recently left that company. Was there for about 3.5 years, but I learned so much just about, construction in general, which is a really interesting field to be in. A lot of professional growth there. It being a male dominated industry, I definitely had to learn how to be in those types of environments and really build up my confidence, and definitely helped me kind of build my voice and, got better at, talking about myself and being confident in my skills. But yeah, I learned a lot. I did sales while I was there for a little bit so that I could learn the operation side of the business. And then did marketing for the most part. I learned a lot about, it was a smaller company, started as just two guys that started it about 13 years ago.
Wow.
And the team has built it. I mean, it's grown tremendously over the last few years. So I really got to watch that growth. And I learned on the marketing side what marketing looks like when you do have, only a few people on your team versus when you are bringing in millions of dollars in revenue, and then like operations as well. So kind of learned all kinds of things about business and marketing while I was there, which I feel like now I kind of have those marketing skills and I can use them and kind of transfer them over to any industry.
Yeah. Yeah, and coming from tech to the trade is definitely different too, especially I can imagine, like, being a woman in the field, like, the things it's dudes and guys,
Yeah.
like, just be acting the way they are, so, like,
Mhm.
the language is different, there's
Very.
no more circle back, no more whatever other, like, techie or, like, awkward
Yeah.
phrases that there are, but it's better in a way though, because 'cause you're just dealing, like, person to person, so
Yeah.
I've that's what I've found so far transitioning to kinda that
Mhm.
space, that I do a lot more in-person stuff, which I love, and you're getting to know people better, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely, more of a relationship-based industry,
Mhm.
um, especially 'cause I have experience in residential and commercial on the roofing side, and they're both relationship-based in different ways, but especially on the commercial side, they're spending so much money typically, especially in a city like Austin. These buildings are huge. And there's a lot of them, so they're spending a lot of money when they need you. So they want to be giving their money to someone that they trust and they know can do the job. And that's what I liked about it, is I really like the relationship building aspect of it.
Yeah. No, 100%. So, that kinda dovetails into golden hour, right? And then the work you're doing with the zoo as well?
Yeah. So I ended up leaving that company, um, and was just kind of, what's my next move? I don't necessarily have anything set in stone. I had actually been working on this on the side as like a contract worker for the Cameron Park Zoo for almost 10 years. I interned there in college, free internship for class credit for a summer, and then they hired me on for my senior year. And then when I moved after college and got my big girl job at Oracle, they were like, "Well, we really like you, so, like, we would love for you to stick around." And, I did a couple of things, clocked a few hours a month, but nothing huge. But then recently they expressed, we really want to step up our social media game. We do really well in other marketing avenues there, but social media wasn't something where there was a process. It doesn't seem like there always needs to be a process with social media. It seems like you can just, throw out posts and everything's good, but there really is a rhyme and a reason to why you do everything you do on there. So they approached me with the opportunity to work full time to do all the social media and then a few other things. So I took that, and then also took that as an opportunity since I haven't been remote in almost 4 years. So working in an office every day is very different than being
Yeah.
remote. A lot more time on your hands, it seems like. So I'm taking this time now to do golden hour growth. That's my kind of freelance marketing strategy company. I've always done it on the side for various businesses and, didn't charge a lot. I just like to do it for fun. I learned a lot doing it. So I'm taking this as an opportunity to really grow that and make it bigger than what I've been doing the last few years.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. Where'd you come up, with the name? What is it? Was it just, this golden hour growth sounds cool, or was there something behind it?
Yeah, a little bit of it sounds cool,
Yeah.
but my logo is little sunflowers. I love sunflowers and, I mean, I think all plants and flowers do this, but sunflowers are always pointing toward the sun.
There you go.
And so I was just like, "Oh, that sounds really cool." I've got, sunflower lyrics tattooed on my arm from a song about them, so it's like it kinda just fits me and what I like and kind of the vibe of what I'm going for.
Is it the Ray Shmurd Sunflower song?
No, it is a Zach Bryan song,
That's better.
"Sun to Me." Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, 'cause that he does do is that how do you say that guy's name? Do you know?
I'm
The
not gonna
hip hop
try.
artist? No, oh, yeah. I I was actually listening to him on, I don't know, some clip, and, he said
Yeah.
his name, and I was like, "That's how you say that?" But I already forgot how
Yeah,
you
then
say it.
I probably don't say it right if you were thinking, "Oh, that's not how you say it."
Zach Bryan's better, he's cool. Well, a little problematic these days, but
Gotta separate the art from the artist
100
sometimes.
100%. I'll
Yeah,
still listen to Kanye, and he's done far worse stuff than
that is
Zach, at
very
least
true.
publicly anyway. So, tell me about, like, what type of brands you are looking to work with. Is it staying in industries you know, like HVAC, roofing, or what kind of places are you looking to play, and where can you help?
Yeah, I don't necessarily have industries that I won't work in. I'm always willing to learn new industries, new products, things like that. Like I said, if you kind of have a knowledge base of what marketing is, what branding is, how you build up a small business, those skills are transferable to almost any industry. As long as you understand the background of what you're doing, you can plug in any type of work, any type of product if you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
I have experience in construction, roofing, HVAC, automotive. My dad has some automotive businesses that I've been working on his social media for a couple years.
nice.
I've done catering businesses, I've done med spas, nonprofits. The zoo that I work for is a nonprofit, so that's a little bit different than most places. The marketing's slightly different, for a nonprofit, so I have that experience as well, but, um, yeah, it doesn't really matter the industry, as long as you know what you're doing on the back end and understand how branding works, kinda transferable to any industry. Probably work best with smaller businesses because the goal of golden hour growth is to really partner with these smaller businesses that don't necessarily have the revenue to hire a full-time marketing coordinator or marketing director
Yeah,
because while marketing is necessary, you have to put money out to get money in. Um, it's not always seen as a necessity in a lot of businesses, especially whenever you are just starting out or you're a smaller business and you don't have a ton of um, extra revenue that you can spend outside of those core operating expenses, and especially in trades, in things like roofing and HVAC or automotive. There's typically not traditionally a dedicated marketing employee in those companies. I was very lucky to find one where they understood marketing and how important it was, and they really invested in me and in that marketing department, and it shows kind of with, what they've built now. But that's not usual for smaller companies like that. The goal is to partner with companies like that, and kind of get them started and, help them grow a strategy and a marketing plan and really understand the investment behind marketing. It's not an expense, it's an investment. And eventually, hopefully, they're at a place where they say, we need to hire someone in house to be here every day to do this.
yeah.
So that's kind of the goal of, how I want to help businesses.
I love that. So what do you see as like the core things that people are missing? Is it still just social media presence, or is there other avenues that kind of come above that?
I would say yes. A lot more people are on social media now than before, but I do think that's a big gap with a lot of smaller businesses, especially in companies where the owners or, the general managers, whoever it may be that's running the company, they're out in the field or they're doing things every single day. They don't necessarily have time to sit and think about marketing or social media because it has to be consistent. It is a marathon, not a sprint, especially with something like social media. You've gotta be consistent, you've gotta be constantly doing it for it to build up and for you to build your brand that way, and it can get tedious, and a lot of times, they don't have the time to do that. So I would say that is definitely a gap. I think another gap is spending time in local communities. I've found that now really trust is one of the biggest things, and I know that sounds like a little bit cliche because you kind of see that on everything. It's like, "Oh, we're the roofer that you can trust, the plumber you can trust," whatever it may be, but that really is what you're trying to gain is, And if you are a smaller, um, local community or family owned business, you're not huge, you really want to gain the trust and the loyalty of the people in your community and getting out there and working with nonprofits in the community, working in the Chamber of Commerce or networking groups, and just getting to know people and really not being a salesman, but just showing your personality and your company's personality.
Yes.
That's what's going to bring people to you, especially in those companies like roofing. I keep going back to roofing, but that's just kind of my most recent experience. But people aren't sitting there thinking, I need a roof right now for fun. I want to go and spend 20 grand on a new roof because I just want one.
Yeah.
They're not doing something like that unless they really need it, unless water's coming through the roof, there was a hailstorm, something like that. So you want to spend the time before that happens for that customer building up your name and your brand. But I think people miss that sometimes because we are an instant gratification world now. So they want to just create a
Absolutely.
Facebook page and have a logoed truck and just start getting clients. But it, like I said earlier, is a marathon, not a sprint. You've really got to build your brand.
Yeah. Is there like SEO strategies built into it at all as well, like website wise?
Yeah, definitely. SEO, it's got a little bit of everything. So it is your website, curating your content on there to match who you're trying to target. So putting in those keywords like I'm in Georgetown. So on my website, if I had a HVAC website and I wanted to target Georgetown, I want to put the word Georgetown on my website wherever I can put it. Any word that I think people are searching, like HVAC repair, air conditioning replacement, whatever it may be, I want to make sure that my website reflects what I know those people are looking for. Um, and you can figure that out. Like you obviously know what your company offers, but then also just taking those conversations that you're having with your clients and really thinking about what are people asking me the most? What questions are they asking me? Put those questions, the answers to those questions on your website, on your Google profile, on your Facebook, your Instagram, anything that Google can crawl when someone's searching, really tailoring all of your content on those to who you're trying to reach.
Yeah, that makes sense. So are any of these, so like for roofing TikTok, roofing like HVAC, no one's on like TikTok, right? Is it mostly like Facebook and Instagram, or are you doing like all of them?
Yeah. So there are some on TikTok. I think TikTok works. In my experience, what you really want to do is kind of find the two or three platforms that really work for you.
Yeah.
You want to master those and own them because it's better to have two or three that you are really great on and you're getting engagement on rather than spreading yourself thin over every platform you can get on just to be on them. We had a lot of success on Instagram Reels and then Facebook Reels as well. I guess depending on the market you're in, and the audience that you're trying to reach, roofing is typically going to be a little bit of an older demographic. They're going to be homeowners. If you're more of a luxury brand, they're going to maybe be a little older because you're looking at higher household incomes, more expensive houses in general. So that group is probably going to be more on Facebook than they are on TikTok. So you kind of just have to look at your analytics from who's coming to your website, who's searching for you, that kind of thing. But I have seen roofers do really well on TikTok. And what like the content in that form, TikTok, Instagram Reels, people really love the stuff that doesn't always necessarily have to do with roofing. I found that people really just liked funny stuff that our team was doing because it reflected us as people. And they were getting to know us as a team. And it's like, oh, okay, like that sales guy is not going to come knock on my door and he'll be pushy and he'll be rude. Like he seems really cool or she seems really cool. I found that those work the most. People really just want to see your personality. And that's just another kind of avenue of building that trust.
Yeah, you see even like it comes up like if I'm scrolling reels, like just creative people or people are just goofing,
Mhm.
and it's almost like you don't even know what the business is, but then they'll say it and it's like, well, that's intriguing. Like,
Right.
'cause at the end of the day, you couldn't be a better roofer than another guy, but it's probably on aggregate, unless you're terrible if you're terrible at roofing, your business isn't gonna last too long anyway,
Right.
'cause you can't
You're
fix
not
a
gonna get
roof.
called again.
Yeah, so, like, as long as you can fix a roof
Mhm.
relatively well, like, I think that's some of the stuff to at least make it interesting and get you in front of people, because ultimately people wanna work with people they like and people that make them feel comfortable or make them laugh.
Right.
What is your like, for, like, roofing, like, what is it the same as, like, an influencer? Like, they're always saying you gotta post all the time, but, like, what does a posting schedule look like for, like, a brand you would help?
Yeah, I would say in general, you probably wanna post 3 to 4 times a week
Yeah.
for a couple of reasons. You don't want to run out of content. Some industries, there's only so much you can talk about until you get bigger and, once you're, like if you're doing events all the time and you have jobs running every single day, you'll have the content, but you don't want people to just be scrolling and be like, "You know what? There's just another picture of shingles or another picture of an HVAC unit or
Yeah.
another car that looks the same." So I would say 3 to 4 times a week is average. The zoo, for example, I post at least once a day. I would never post more than twice a day because again, you don't want people just, scrolling like, "Oh, well, there's that brand again. I've seen them
Yeah.
8 times in the last 48, why do they keep showing up?" At that point, you still wanna be intriguing, and not just constantly throwing content out that people aren't going to be engaged with.
Yeah, you need to leave some mystery.
Right, yeah, so 3 to 4 times a week is probably good.
Yeah. Some intrigue and people aren't sick of just seeing seeing your company or face come up
Right,
across the screen a million times a day.
yeah,
So if you had to give, I guess I don't want you to give away the secret sauce, but, like, what's your one piece of advice? Like, you're going in to assess a brand, what's the biggest thing they can do to try to get in front of customers?
yeah, honestly, right now, I would say it's social media. You can do so much with it, and even at very low cost or no cost at all.
Yeah,
If you are a brand or a company that doesn't necessarily have that extra money to spend on paid tactics, social media, you're going to reach such a broad audience with that. But with that also comes being patient, which is what I see a lot is, like I said earlier, we live for instant gratification, and that is not what most marketing is because you've really got to build your brand. But I think that's, like, the biggest piece of advice is don't if you start posting on Facebook consistently and you're 3 weeks into it and you haven't gotten a million more calls, that doesn't mean it's not working.
yeah,
You've gotta give it usually a few months for something to really, like, take a hold in your community or, whatever space that you're sharing your information in. Um, so, yeah, I would say definitely, we're in the age of social media and really video content. People love that. We love to listen to things now and rather than read them most of the time. My screen time on TikTok is too high because I like when people post a story time and in the morning I can just listen to it while I'm getting ready. I don't even
yeah,
necessarily have to be watching it. So yeah, that would be my biggest thing is if you're gonna start anywhere, start with social media. And then just that like relatable content showing who you are videos, and then just be patient with it.
yeah, yeah, it takes a long time to build a brand. There's overnight, like, with anything, people who go viral, but I'm always like, what even was that? Were they pushed
Yeah,
by someone else? They probably know someone, have a
yeah,
rich uncle or something that
right,
pushed
and
them up at
sometimes
the
it's so random, you're like, "How did" no one even knows how that happened, but
Yeah,
there it is.
somebody's pulling strings
Right.
behind the scenes. I know some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, I was like, "What is this? How
Yeah,
is this even a thing?" And then I'll look and it's like 65,000 followers. Like,
yeah. You're like,
it's
"Okay."
it's very odd.
Right.
All right, last question. What
Yeah,
is your favorite animal at the Cameron Park Zoo?
probably the giraffes.
Yeah.
Funny story or kind of fun fact, there is a giraffe there, her name is Ginny. I believe she just turned 34 a couple of months ago. She's actually been there since I was a little kid. I'm from Waco, so I've been going to the Cameron Park Zoo since I was very little. And I was there one day during the summer with my cousins, and she was out on exhibit and actually gave birth while I was
Wow,
standing there watching. So, yeah, she's been there for a long time, and I've been visiting her for a long time. So, she's probably one of my favorites.
well, if I had to do some math, if Ginny's been alive longer than you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Few years
yeah,
longer than me.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
wow, she's been
Yeah.
there your entire life, and you saw her give birth to a baby.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's special. Were you, like, crying?
I think I was like 8, so I think I was a little freaked out, but now I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh."
that's scary.
Oh, now, like, I can probably appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, okay, so she's 34 now, Ginny
Yes.
is? Okay. I was gonna say, that seems, like, old to give birth for a giraffe. I don't
No,
know.
this was 20 years ago plus, so,
Okay,
yeah.
that's crazy. Alright, Kaylee, well, I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
If anyone's looking for help with their business, hit her up. She
Yeah,
can
thank
help.
you.
It was great talking to you, and I appreciate you doing the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was great.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you, you too.